The promise she broke. She saved his life. He promised her forever. But promises break easily when love becomes ambition. And karma never forgets. The promise she broke. The rain poured down on the deserted highway like a warning. Suddenly, tires screeched against the wet pavement. The vehicle flipped, metal crunching against the cold ground. Smoke billowed from the wreckage as silence returned. Fate had brought a witness to this tragedy. Ji-eun was a nurse, quiet, kind, and invisible to the world. She didn't hesitate for a second. She reached the wreckage, the smell of gas filling the air. Inside, a man lay trapped and bleeding. She was his only hope for survival. Her hands were trembling, but she didn't stop. She pulled him from the wreckage just in time. His heart was racing, and so was hers. "Stay with me. You'll be okay." Min-soo was the heir to a fortune, but helpless in that moment. He survived the night. The morning sun cut through the sterile hospital light. He looked at her like she was the only person who mattered. "You saved my life. I'll never forget you." Ji-eun felt a spark of hope she hadn't felt in years. He promised her gratitude. He promised her love. He promised her forever. Ji-eun believed every word. But the world outside was already moving against them. For months, she believed him. She believed in the warmth of his words. She believed in the touch of his hand. But the illusion was about to shatter. Ambition was calling louder than love. Ji-eun was smiling, holding a bouquet of flowers. Until the day she saw the headline. Min-soo to marry Hae-jin, daughter of business tycoon Park. Her world shattered in an instant. Her heart broke into 1,000 pieces. Her name disappeared from his memory. Hae-jin made sure of that. She was a threat to their perfect image. They needed her gone. Ambition had completely replaced his heart. She spread rumors throughout the hospital. She forged documents to incriminate her. Ji-eun was called into the director's office. She was fired for negligence she never committed. Everything she worked for was gone. Ji-eun left the hospital that day with nothing. Her heart was broken, and her spirit crushed. She wished she had never believed his promise. The locket he gave her felt like a weight around her neck. She drove away, leaving her old life behind. Time passed, and the world kept turning. Pain hardened into purpose. She worked harder than anyone ever had. She rebuilt herself from the ashes of her betrayal. She had a goal that no one could see. She had bought the hospital through an anonymous investor. The board had no idea who their new boss was. The hospital was in financial trouble, and she was the cure. She was coming back to where it all began. The return of the invisible nurse. Ji-eun walked through the same hospital doors. She was no longer a nurse, but the new director. Her presence was felt in every room. She had returned to claim what was hers. The silence in the office was deafening. While Ji-eun rose, Min-soo was falling. His company was collapsing under the weight of debt. The fortune he chose over love was disappearing. He was losing everything he ever valued. Karma was beginning its slow crawl toward him. His wife, Hai-jin, was dying from a mysterious illness. The doctors had no answers for her condition. Her health deteriorated with every passing day. They had the money, but no one could save her. Only one person in the city had the expertise they needed. Min-soo arrived at the hospital, looking desperate. He didn't know the director was the woman he betrayed. The door opened, and his heart stopped. You once told me I was invisible. Now I decide who lives and who doesn't. Min-soo fell to his knees in shock. The past he tried to bury was standing before him. He tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Ji-eun threw a medical file onto the floor. The truth was written in those pages. The illness wasn't random. It was the same rare condition Ji-eun developed after the accident. She had helped cover up the accident for Min-soo. The toxic fumes from the crash had made her sick. He knew she was sick, and he abandoned her anyway. Now, karma had returned through the woman he chose. The irony was cruel and absolute. Please, save her. I'll do anything. You already did. You taught me that promises mean nothing. He was left alone with his broken promises. Ji-eun walked away, leaving him to face the truth. Love without loyalty is just another lie. She had found her own way to heal. The weight of the past was finally gone. She was no longer the victim of anyone's story. Hai-jin passed quietly as the sun set. The room was filled with the silence of a life ended. Min-soo was not there to witness her final moments. Her wealth could not buy her a single extra second. The end of a rivalry that never should have been. Min-soo lost everything in the end. His company, his wealth, and his peace were gone. He was a man with no future and a haunted past. He remembered the nurse who once loved him. The cost of his ambition was higher than he ever imagined. Ji-eun never sought revenge. She only wanted justice. Revenge would have destroyed her too. She chose the path of healing instead. She had become the woman she was always meant to be. She healed his wounds in the past. He broke her heart in return. And karma made her his cure. The scales were finally balanced. A lesson learned through pain and time. Ji-yoon stood outside the hospital as rain fell again. The rain felt different this time. It was no longer a warning, but a cleansing. She had survived the flood and found the shore. The cycle was finally complete. Because promises may break. But karma never does. She was the ghost in his machine. He would live with his choices forever. The story ends where it began, in the silence. She healed his wounds. He broke her heart. And karma made her his cure. The promise is finally forgotten. Justice has a name. The hospital stood as a witness to it all. Every floor had a story to tell. Ji-yeon had turned her pain into progress. A legacy built on truth and justice. The echoes of the past slowly faded away. Because promises may break. But karma never does. Fade out. Thank you for watching. The end.